Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Tuesday. So, as you know, we've been going over adjectives. Last week, we started comparative and superlative adjectives. Well, for those regular and comparative superlative adjectives, we just add ES, ER, or EST to compare. So, for example, the pillow was lighter than the sofa. We compared pillow to sofa and we added ER to lighter because it is lighter. Now, the sofa is the heaviest item in the room. Now, heaviest, we added EST because we're comparing the sofa to all the items in the room, which is 3 or more. So, today we have some irregular adjectives we're going to go over. Now, these adjectives, we don't add ER or EST. We're changing the spelling completely. Okay, so you might have seen them before, but we're going to go over them again. So we're learning 3 new ones now. They are good, bad, and many. So that pasta was good. We're just saying that the pasta was good. We're describing the pasta. Now, if I said the pasta was blank than mine. If you guess better, you're right. So we use the noun better, the adjective better to describe a noun when we're just comparing 2 or more. So we would use better when comparing 2 nouns. So the pasta was better than mine. We're comparing the pasta that someone made to mine. All right? Now, when we're comparing 3, more than 3, that pasta was the blank in the world. Now, I'm comparing it to every pasta in the world. We're comparing 3 or more. If you guessed best, you're correct. So, when comparing 3 or more, you use the word best. Now, look how we don't have gooder for the 2. We don't have goodest for the 3. We change the spelling completely. Now, there's a little song that you're going to get in a graphic organizer tomorrow. And it says, good, better, best, never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best. So it kind of helps you remember good, better, best, the order that it goes in. All right? So you'll be able to practice good, better, best, never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best. All right? So now we are on bad. The game was bad. Now, that was a bad game. I'm only saying 1 game. Now, if I were to compare 2, that game was blank than the one last night. So, if I'm comparing 2, that game was worse than the game last night. So, comparing 2 nouns, we use worse. Now, if that game was the blank game I've ever seen, I'm comparing it to 3 or more. So that game was the worst I've ever seen. Now I'm comparing it to all the games I've ever seen in my life. So it is the worst. We change the E to a T. Think of 3. Now, many. I had many markers. Now, I'm only comparing it to me. I'm just using that adjective to describe how many I have. Now, let's say Miss Padron had blank markers than her mom. Miss Padron had more markers than her mom because I'm just comparing to my mom. So it is more. Now, let's say Miss Padron had the most markers in her family. I'm comparing it to the rest of my family. I have the most. Okay, so we have these three. These are the three. Good, bad, many. Now, good, when you compare two, it is better. When you compare three or more, it is best. Bad, when comparing two, is worse. Then, think about three. You change the E to a T. Three begins with T. All right, worse. Now, many, comparing two notes, we have more. Comparing three or more, we have most. Now, on today's worksheet on page 169, you have sentences. It says, proofread the sentences, correct adjectives that are misspelled, then write the sentences correctly. You're not going to write the sentences. Do not write the sentences. Okay? I don't want you to break off your hand. So, Charlotte's Web is the bestest book I have ever read. Now, bestest is incorrect. Again, we don't add EST. Now, it's the best book. Okay, so you put on the line BEST. All right, so that's what you do for numbers 1 through 6 on page 169. On 170, we are going to look through the paragraph. I want you to circle any adjectives that are incorrectly used or misspelled. Remember, we're going to do it the same as in class. You proofread the paragraph, circled anything that is incorrect. Then you write number 1, you write what's incorrect, a little arrow, and you put it correctly. So, I remember the worst thing that ever happened to me. Now, it's not that worst is spelled incorrectly, but I'm comparing it to everything in my life, and that is the worst with a T. Remember, more than 3, you change the E to a T. All right, so for that paragraph, you put number 1, you put worse, WORSE, an arrow, and then worst, WORST, because we're comparing it to my life. It's the worst thing that's ever happened. All right, boys and girls, so please remember, don't write the paragraph or the sentences. All right, see you later.